The Love Drive is brought to you by SecDrive, powered by Yakadicto Network, a product of Ultimate Multimedia Consult.
Hello viewers, welcome to yet another episode of Love Drive on SecDrive. I am your host, Geoffrey Mugisazwa, and remember to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Click on that bell icon to receive notification wherever a new mouth-watering episode is uploaded. Today, we are going to look at the topic money and relationship. Here with me to dissect this topic, I have guests, and on my extreme left, I have a gentleman. I would like to invite him to introduce himself.
Hello viewers, my name is Pascal Simademini. I'm happy to be here to be discussing this interesting topic.
Okay, and the lady?
Thank you, hosts. Hello everyone, I'm Joanie Takiza, and I'm glad to be here. I'm actually excited to be on this show with you. Thank you.
Is one of us here married?
No.
No, not married.
Okay, this is good. Now, in relationships and marriage per se, we always work to have properties, okay? So I want us to look at this issue of ownership of properties very well here. So let me start with the gentleman. Would you be okay to hide properties from your partner?
I would say yes, depending on the circumstances why I'm doing so. And
is it really fine? Would your partner be fine if she found out?
Yeah, well, it depends on the perspective in which you bring it in. If they are fine with it or not, that will be them. But me hiding my properties or something like that would depend on circumstances that actually are curtailing me to hide those properties.
Which are those circumstances? That's what we want to look at.
Well, there might be very many to discuss, and which I'm very, very happy to discuss about. For example, you see, there are certain instances where you find, for example, the spouse is not a serious spouse. For example, the money. If you have a such spouse, for example, you wouldn't want to show her all your properties. Because one reason is she may be actually interested only in that part of the money or whatever. So you'd go on a safer side. For example, if I would put it loosely in Uganda, so
that small thing that you know.
Yeah, so
it's mine.
You know you're on a safe side. Anything happens, you know you're backed up. Yeah. And so sometimes it also comes down, for example, when you're married and you're the only person actually investing in your property. If your money, for example, is working well and good, but then they are not contributing to the well-being of everything in the family. So
what's that property you would love to hide from your spouse?
For example, properties may be, for example, if I buy land, I build rentals, or I build a house. So if, for example, I buy land, it will be a safer side for me to just keep it myself.
Okay. Yeah. Joanna, you're working, and I was told you earn big. So that house that you're constructing, would it be okay for you to hide it from your partner?
Well, it would depend on the bond that I have with my partner. If the trust is built over time, yes, I would tell
What
him
is
about
that
it.
time you're talking about? Trust built.
You can talk about years, but partners are partners. People change over time. So it may reach a moment where you're almost trusting the person and telling them about your property, and after some time they change. So my opinion, I wouldn't really want to let it out to my partner. I would show them part of it, but not entirely it. Unless they're in my plans, like we decided to build a specific house, and they're really involved in my building, schedules and plans. That's when I can show it to them.
I have an example of, there is this story that was going on. She was my personal friend, and the mother actually had a rental that he was forcing their dad to rent. They had built a house, and when the man was like, let's shift, she said, no, let's rent and rent out to the other one, because rent from the other side is going to be paying our rent here and we earn an extra income. 20 years down the road, the man finds out that he was actually renting a woman's house, and the woman was the landlady. Okay? So in that situation, if you ever found out, Pascal, what would you do?
Of course, it comes down to dishonesty. If, for example, now the wife was the landlady, well, she could have just told the husband, I'm the landlady of this house, or you not actually even rent that particular house. There are very many houses there. Then let other people take on that house.
If it was you, what would you do?
Yeah. That's you let go of that person, because you cannot. That's someone who can even murder you. Serious. How would you do that?
Joanna, would you do?
Well, it all comes down to trust. Building your relationship.
Look at a relationship where you have the kid Joanna.
Okay.
We studied together at campus with that lady. So she was old enough. Now, I'm looking at those years, and it's 20 years later that your dad finds out that you are actually staying in your mom's house.
Well, it's trust majorly, because if you're able to live on for all that time, the woman may be able to stick in that marriage because probably it's for the kids, but then they don't trust the guy. So the woman is like, let me stay there because I have to look after my children.
So you
wouldn't want your kids to know that, you have issues with your guy, so you have to do it there and act like, yes, you can support them. You look for always make sure that you can hold back your guy and you stick to your marriage.
Pascal, now, this situation is broad.
When you were starting a show, you asked us a question if it's okay to hide
properties.
But that scenario you gave may not be an example of hiding property. Yeah?
It is.
It is, but then in a way that is ridiculous. Yeah? How would you hide a property, something you're using with your husband?
Do you know that?
Would you rather actually build a house, stays that side?
Actually, they say hiding things in plain sight is better than hiding.
Yeah, it may by then. Seriously? If that's your wife and then you have to go back to them in the bed, you might have bed like the next morning. You do that?
Well, to me, it puzzled me that I'm looking at hiding property in plain sight. Yes, my thing is there, we are using it, but it is hidden from you.
But the lady might have had other reasons that she wasn't able to disclose to the guy.
Other reasons for 20 years?
Yes. We can hide stuff and you can't be able to disclose
if that
them.
was your mother, then you
Of course, it would feel sad, but the fact that I'm able to stick there as long as our family has been kept together, I wouldn't be so sad about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
They have their own reasons. You can't go into someone's
might have
marriage
their
and then
own
you'll be like, why did you do it? They have their own reasons. Yes.
Okay, you talked about trust in a relationship. Now, I'm looking at this scenario of 20 years. Now, at what point do you think that it is really, that point that I can hide property from my husband?
Well,
when you look at trust.
There's some instances whereby we share property with my siblings,
okay,
and I wouldn't want my husband or my partner to get involved in that.
So that is family,
that's
like
family related.
From your family,
yes.
Yeah?
And the other instance is when I start discovering what you call embeda, musajja nga tanso okuchuka. Yes, you start holding back your property until you really capture that trust. So sometimes you have to hide things because men change. Okay, women also change, but men really change.
Men change.
They change.
Everyone changes.
Yes, so
you don't decide to be a man to change or a woman to change.
yeah, but
Pascal, men change. Start with men change.
So women change and men change, and you don't have to specify somewhere.
Okay.
Joanna, how do men change?
They change because there are times whereby
How?
Okay, how? Some men may have other partners that you don't know about because I have a friend who got a guy, and she didn't know that the guy had 2 kids. So by the time she got to know about it, okay, leaving alone that, but she didn't know about it. She got to know about it after they had gone for this Coachella event. And then she came and told me, and she was shocked. But at that point, of course, she feared to get embarrassed about it. So that's when you know that
the man was hiding the
yes,
property.
something like that. So you may show them your property and don't realize that they have other kids that they're budgeting that for. So until they snatch out your property and they include the other kids that you don't know about. So if they're able to hide those kids, you don't know how much they've been hiding from you. Yes, so that's the problem. So trust is hold back a bit from it.
So if you talk about holding back, for how many years would you stay with your partner and feel that now I trust him? Or what are those characteristics that come up uniquely for you to get to know that you
trust the guy?
You trust the guy?
Trust doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy, but sometimes you just stick there because we have no option. You keep planning your guy, your partner over and over again. You have to trust them, but not completely. Not completely. Because we are human, we err.
We are human, even.
Yes.
That I would love to pick from that. But then if you're saying you have to first give it years to trust someone, so does the time come with trust?
Well, miraculously, probably it will come, but I don't believe in trust.
So you may
Miraculously,
you
actually.
may be actually in a relationship with someone you don't trust over years and over years.
You
Well,
trust,
hoping
but you
that
don't
maybe
pour
trust them.
out your entire self to them.
Then you don't love them.
I do, but we're human. We err. Sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes you get those partners, not because they're perfect, but because we love what they have, but we're able to bear their imperfections. So once you're able to bear those imperfections, you put aside that trust and you just go in because you saw something good in them, not because they're perfect, but because you're able to accommodate those imperfections that they have and you stick around. So then it doesn't have to really mean that I have to trust them. Just be there. As long as you're happy.
As long as you're happy. What makes happiness in a relationship? According to
you love unconditionally.
Yeah, sure. You love unconditionally, but if you love unconditionally, you don't trust them.
It goes back to trust.
Yeah,
It goes back to
because honestly, if you go back to our topic of hiding property, trust, like she said, is very important, right? And honestly, you can be in a relationship with someone when you do not actually pour everything into them. But I wouldn't, for example, be in such a relationship where I don't trust someone. Then we go over and over years, 20 years down the road. You marry, have kids, and then you don't trust the person anymore.
Well, Pascal, the new era that you're coming in, the generation, I think it's full of problems. People are stressed. Now, for example, COVID has come up. People are desperate to have what they want to have. So, as we've been seeing over the news, people kill each other for property. There's been land grabbing, and someone will put aside their family. They can be able to kill their parent, not even a partner, but a parent, a sibling, because they want that specific piece of land. You get? So anything can happen. So there's no way you can be like, I have to trust someone completely. People are desperate. So they can do anything, no matter what.
Okay,
to have
you've hidden. Let me say you've hidden from your spouse this piece of land that you bought in Namugongo.
Okay.
Don't you live with that guilt? Don't you feel that you can live with that guilt?
Well, you get over it.
How?
There's a saying, if you keep on lying over and over again, it becomes part of you. So you stop feeling guilty about it. It stops being a lie, it becomes part of you.
It remains a lie.
I won't treat it to Pascal because for us to receive our calls in a weird way.
Okay.
But what about you who has hidden this piece of land and they are calling you to tell you that, you know what, there is someone who has encroached a little bit piece of land is taken. And you
Don't check on it.
How? Like we are together on the dining, we're in the bedroom, and this call is important. And you know that when the chairman calls, there is something very, very important happening back.
Okay.
Would you receive that call? And how would you receive it?
I'm usually a calm person. I don't show emotions when I pick a call. So you can't know that it's good or bad news. The way another partner or a guy can be able to hide a side chick from a wife for years. That's a high property.
Even a woman can have it. I don't know why you always focus on men.
And because that would be my other partner, I wouldn't take. Yeah.
So coming back to the point, didn't you feel guilty hiding that taxi you bought for?
Of course, now it's, as you said, yeah, you can feel guilty. And actually, if you're married, it's prohibited by the law to conceal property from your partner. Okay. First of all, you're not doing it in the right way. It's illegal. Second of all, it's immoral.
Illegal to your partner?
The High Court actually stipulates that if you're married, legally married, you should like be clean with each other, share property and all that. But of course, we don't always move in the right hand of the law. Yeah. But then coming to your question, yes, you would feel that guilt. Yeah. And in the worst case scenario, for example, when something happens, for example, a taxi has got in an accident, and then you have to go there, your land has been grabbed, and then the next time you hear your spouse has reads in the news, like someone has grabbed your land. Yeah, someone has grabbed someone's land, and that someone happens to your husband or your wife, and you're reading it in the news or you're watching it on the television. When you get shocked, first of all, now to crown was down the family you built for years. Yeah. So I had a scenario where at home some prominent person died there, and then in their will they had to read out like certain properties the family, kids and wife they didn't know about. Yeah. So they are reading the will, and then they are talking about houses in Chengera. The wife didn't know about. Yeah. So it comes down to like now tearing apart your family. Now, for example, you start fighting over the land, fighting over the property. And in certain scenarios where, for example, people do not write their will, for example, they have died an accidental death, yeah, that property will remain there and be taken by opportunists, yeah, people who knew actually know that, not the family.
Now,
yeah.
Let me ask you something very small. Now, would you tell one of your trusted children about this secret property?
If it's a secret, then we wouldn't tell them. If it's a secret, then it means that it's your secret, yeah? Because you never know any time from now. Like from the time you tell your kid, they tell their mother, and then it all comes back to you. If it's a secret, then you keep it that way.
Or they'll even go after it.
Yeah, they go after it.
Your property once they have the document.
So if it's a secret, I would suggest maybe you, if you want to hide the property, keep it a secret as long as you can. So, but be ready for the consequences that come by.
And those consequences?
These consequences is being your land taken away. For example, you wouldn't want to fight for your land when you don't know. Your family doesn't know you have it. Eh? And then, you, for example, God forbid, you died. That property, even if it would have benefited your family, to know it because they don't know about it. Yeah. And in the other case, if, for example, they find out, like how you told us that scenario, 20 years, like wife was renting the husband. So if they happen to find out, then what happens to your family, your marriage that has been running for years, breaks it down. Those are the consequences you should be aware of. And then if you're tied to your property, be wise enough.
So what you're trying to say is, if it is a secret, it is a secret. Not even a friend.
Well, because of course you cannot.
Not even documentation.
If you have a property, it has to have documentation. Yeah. But friends that are outside your family circles, yeah, they could be your lawyers, they could be friends, but not your immediate family. Yeah. Those, of course, when you have a property, like I said, you have to have documentation. People have to know that you're the owner. Yeah. For example, you own a property in Mbarara. People have to know that Geoffrey has a property in Mbarara. People of that location. Yeah, not your family. But a secret, of course, cannot remain a secret forever.
Joanna, coming to you, would you tell someone about your property, your secret property?
Well, I would, depending on how close we are. One, if it's a partner, we should be married. Because if you're not married, anytime they can walk out of your life, or you can walk out of their life. Yes. If it's my kids, then I can, because that's blood. They'll be next of kin. Well, I would tell my parents, I'll tell my siblings because of how close we are. And if it's a close friend, we'll discuss.
So I'm getting one thing, that if we were to get married, me and you, I have to get so close to your siblings.
No, they wouldn't tell you, by the way. You couldn't bribe them.
Would they?
They would. And most of the girls, they would.
They cannot.
Love Drive on Sec Drive continues after this commercial break.
The Love Drive is brought to you by Sec Drive, powered by Yakadicto Network, a product of Ultimate Multimedia Consult.
Welcome back from the break. Remember to subscribe, like, share, click on that bell notification icon so that you can receive notification whenever we upload these episodes. Okay? Before we went for break, we were discussing a very nice topic here, ownership of property. And the people I'm hosting here had a very, very, very good argument about it. Now, back to properties. At what point do you think, I will start with Pascal, at what point do you think it is the right time to disclose that hidden property? Okay, that property you've been hiding for 20 years.
Why does it have to be 20 years though? But now, for example, I would start by saying if this John has been talking about trust. Yeah? If, for example, you feel your partners and you trust well, they work hardworking, they are good with their finances, they are contributing to the well-being of the family or the property, then well and good, you come clean and say, I have a property here, I bought it. For example, you can even, since you've been lying, you can even actually tell them, I bought it way back before we met. It actually bought it like 3 months ago.
You know what would be your reaction after your spouse exposing that for 20 years I've been having this land, I developed it, I put up a commercial building, and here it is?
Well, it will be so depressing on my side. I'll be, of course, that trust comes in and you feel so sad about it. But if that commercial building or that land somewhere has been beneficial to your family, then at some point you have that small point of forgiveness. But of course, it takes a period of time. So you have to ask your partner why they did that. And then they explain why they did so.
So the why, Pascal,
So the
what
why.
would you say?
Well, I mean, if it's true I didn't trust you, then I'll say I've not trusted you.
Oh,
but
really?
Yeah. You want me to
Well, it will hurt. Really, it would really hurt.
I
The
don't,
fact
I
that
don't,
you
I
hide the
don't-
property.
I don't get the point where it hurts when I'm telling you I have land.
No, why would it take that much time?
But it's land. It was my land. I'm telling you I have land, and then you get hurt.
It would be so worse if you're married.
Yeah, but then
It would be so worse if you're married. Because if you're married, then if I decide to divorce you, then let's play that.
No, I mean, I have brought the paper, and it is saying we got married in 2018, and it's saying this land was purchased in 2018.
And why now?
Then I disclose it.
Why now? Why now? Am I going to die? Going to die?
You talked about trust. You talked about trust.
Oh, really?
Now I've
So
started trusting
it's
you.
after 10 years for you
Yes.
to trust me.
Yes.
What did I do
no,
for you
you're
to
the same
trust
person
me?
who said we have
No,
to
it
take
doesn't
years
work
trust
no,
people like that.
Trust doesn't work like that.
How
Doesn't just
does
come
it
out of the blue like boom.
Oh, really?
Now
How-
I trust
how
you.
does
Here
it-
is my
how does it
property.
work?
No,
I get
it has been
suspicious.
growing over time. It has been growing over time. Now, 10 years down the road, it is up there. Now I've decided to disclose to you that, you know what? There.
Well, you disclose your property, but if I had my property, I wouldn't come up at the time to show it to you because you showed me yours. I mean, just didn't come out of the blue
Then
for you to
because-
show me what you have. I mean, we've been
It means
10
we are
years in a
living in a marriage
relationship.
of deception.
Exactly. Then we break up.
So would you disclose yours before I disclose?
I wouldn't disclose my property. I would show you just part of it.
Then
Not
you disclose
all
the
of it.
property then.
Not all of it, but just part of it, depending on how you behave and your character.
So what would you show?
But Mr. Moderator, why would you be in a relationship with someone you treat like that? Like, I would show you this, but I wouldn't
Because
show
we are
you this.
human.
Why? We are human, you're human too.
Yes, we are human, so we can't show you everything because we change.
So, okay,
We
now,
come up one
you're
day-
saying that we should be in a marriage where everyone should own their property independently, and then we come together in bed, go back to everyone's whatever
I'll
they're
give you
doing,
an
and then come
example.
back.
There is that property that may be given to me by my parents. For example, now I'm lucky I have both my parents alive, but For example, that to give me a piece of land, I may not show it to you because I may tempt those demons in you and you may go after it for the fact that you think that it's mine. So what I would say, I'd be like, well, our family has a plot of land somewhere, but I will know that it's my property. So there are those properties or assets that I may not show you because I'm protecting you from them or my family from, you know, having other intruders in it.
So what if we are there,
Okay.
and one time I'm looking for my past documents,
Okay.
and it so happens that you
Okay.
put up the documentation of that property in the same area my documents are, and I land on them.
Okay. It will be sad, but with settle, you know that you both
Pastor, if you landed on
yourself.
those documents, what do you
I
do?
ban them. Serious.
Okay.
In 20 years, and you're hiding documents in,
No, because
in our house.
You,
yeah.
you said it's a common property.
I
like
ban
you're
them.
all
Then
after the
I
same
know
land.
we've lost everything.
Like you have never disclosed that you have a building on
Okay.
Java Road,
Okay.
and then I land
On
that, you know, Joanna
Okay.
signature
yeah,
written very well.
you ban it, and then you hear how she come and say, "Have you seen my documents?" Which documents? Eh? There are no documents. There's no property to begin with, right?
But for
Yeah.
such big assets and documents, they're not kept in houses.
No. I was like, what if?
What if? Well, personally, I couldn't make that mistake.
Now, what if you found out that he burnt them?
That's why I couldn't keep it in the house.
No,
You
like
bring in
what if you
lawyers.
found out that he
it's a
burned
scenario.
them?
Then what would you do?
Well, we break up.
Because
We
I
break
banned
up and
what?
then we share your property because I know I'll get a 60% out of the property. So at least it will compensate for what I lost.
No, you're
But
like telling me that we are financially doing unwell at home.
Okay.
And then I asked you, I tell you, no, honey, I'm not doing financially well.
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay.
Then you tell me, you know what, I'm also off pocket. You know, don't have any penny on me. And a minute later, I land on $1 million. Pasco, would that $1 million be yours or?
It is no for one. It's no man's land. Eh? Like you don't have money.
Would you use it?
And then you come and ask me where is my million? Which, in a million you don't have?
No, because not everything that I have is yours.
No, these are the women.
Not everything that I have
These are
is
the
yours.
women who,
No, I think someone gave it to me to keep it.
chikazi, right? They don't want to buy anything at home or anything to contribute to the family.
Yes, that, Joanna,
Okay.
I have landed on this money and you assured me that you don't have money in
Okay.
the house.
Okay.
Me, honestly, on my side, I'll take it because I'll say, oh, maybe I forgot this money sometime back.
Okay.
What would you do?
What if it's a friend who gave it to me to keep it? Or what if, let me tell you, usually when someone asks for money, for example, Jeffrey, you come to me and then you're like, do you want to help me with, let's say, 500,000. The fact that I tell you that I don't have that money, it doesn't mean that I don't have it. Usually people give out that extra money that they have. So I may be having exactly 500,000 and I know I'm going to use it and I can give it to you. So if you find it with me for the fact that I didn't give it to you, it doesn't mean that in Zikumye, it
No,
means that I was going
but
to
you're
use
my
it.
wife. What are you going to do with it?
Why would I give you everything? Why would I pour out my entire self to you to give you everything? Why would I sacrifice all the time?
So you mean if your friend gave you money to keep, you cannot tell your husband that, you know what?
It depends on what my friend is going to use it for.
No.
No, you cannot
My
tell your
friend-
husband there's money in the house.
My friend
Alright.
has given me this amount to keep.
What if I tell you my friend and then you're like, which friend of yours is that?
What
And then you get suspicious and like, I think now you
No,
forge your
to
relationship. I
begin-
think
no,
you
to
guys are
begin with,
dating.
I
You
think-
start with, is it a guy or a babe?
No, those questions will happen.
And then I'm like, it's a guy, and then you fume like, you get pissed about it. So some instances, it's better you keep them to yourself.
So are there friends your husband doesn't know about?
Of course they're there. They're there.
Who are these friends then? That's why
They are
people ask
mine.
questions. Eh? You
They are
have friends, but
mine.
you don't want to tell your husband I have friends.
The same case as property. You don't have to show it all to him. Because you get jealous.
Then you shouldn't be with him to begin with.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Well, how does it work?
It works by you trust why you can trust. Because we change. We change over
So
time.
if for example,
Money changes people.
You're fronting this theory of
Okay.
people change, then you wouldn't want to be trusting anyone because initially are like you're around people. You're around people.
Um,
Does that mean you're going to?
So are you talking out of experience?
yes, let's say it's out of experience. Part of it is out of experience, but the other part is the people I interact with.
The people you interact
Yes.
with. So you've had a lot of these stories.
Okay.
Now, properties. You know, property is broad.
Okay.
Now, why do you think that spouses hide these properties from each other?
Why they hide? One, it's because usually if they don't own, if they own part of the property, for example, if you're siblings and you own land and you just have a portion, sometimes you hide it. Be like, if you put a lot of attention to it, probably your partner will want to have a little of it. Then other times, if of course trust. Then the other times, for example, if you're not that close with your partner, yes, like you're just dating, for example, I can't just get a boyfriend right now, like dated like a year, and I start showing them, like, you know, I have land here, my parents gave me a car, I have assets here, I have a building. I mean, why? You're not true.
So 1 year.
Your future.
1 year is so.
No, not. Oh, okay, come out wrong. But 1 year is not like a year, but that's so short a time to trust someone.
What is the time? What is the timeline?
If you're married,
No,
I
no,
believe.
no, no. The trust you're talking about. What is the timeline?
It comes
Because you
over
said-
time. It comes over time. Yeah, it comes over time. You feel it. You feel it when you trust someone.
But
Out of experience, you feel it.
do you know you can trust someone within a month or two?
Within 2 weeks.
No, people change.
People
I still
change.
stick to
So
that point.
what
People
you're saying,
change.
I mean, like if you're saying people change,
Okay.
I presume you say people you can even change after 15 years, right?
Recently, in news, I saw
Is that right?
someone who got divorced after 20 years
Exactly.
of marriage. So someone else would be like, 10 years, I really trust my partner.
No,
No,
there
but
was one
20 years, they get
one
divorced.
divorce that was which district that involved an 89-year-old couple.
And post.
Yeah, the woman was asking for divorce after about was it 40 years in marriage?
But realize
And
these
they were
things.
89, one was 89, one was 80, one was 89, one was 80, 84, 85. Now I'm looking at that,
Okay.
and it involved property.
Okay. And by the way, about okay, property trust. Some people stick to their partners because in relationships and partnerships, it's not all about trust. Now you're looking at one factor and you're considering all the other factors constant. What if you make this one not constant and look at other factors? There is love, there is maybe like friendship, there is courtship. All that is considered in marriage before you're looking at one factor, trust. Now, what if that partner, what if I put aside the trust bit of my partner and then I focus on the love, I focus on the care that he gives me, I focus on the love that he gives my children.
Then you disclose.
Then I
that
put aside the
private.
trust bit. I'm like, maybe it will work out itself later in life. And now, how many years, 40 years in marriage, it doesn't work out. I'm like, you know what? I need to get out of this. So sometimes you may not blame someone for not trusting the other.
So what
for
if,
all that time.
What if the trust built up in 20 years?
Okay,
In 20 years, I've built up the trust,
okay,
and you've disclosed what you have,
okay.
and then 21st year it goes sideways.
Okay. Well, as long as you disclosed yours, your property, and yeah, I'm comfortable about that.
Why do you think people hide their properties from their spouses?
Because I wouldn't differ from what she said. Apparently, for example, when someone you see they are not even working hard towards building something with you, then some people may not see a point in like sharing that property or disclosing it how.
Sure.
I mean, like I'm working day and night for my money. You're doing nothing at home, yeah? And I'm buying my plot of land, you're not contributing anything. I may not see any point as why I should tell you that, no, we are buying land here, what? Because you're not contributing any penny. It's my money, it's my property, yeah?
Okay.
And sometimes people marry for very many reasons, yeah? People may not even marry for love. People may be get married because you had a kid.
To make your
together.
parents proud.
Yeah, to make your parents
That's married.
proud.
I
Peer pressure.
Yeah,
You're growing
sure.
old and then you want to get married and you find yourself in marriage. But then you don't feel it. You don't feel that love. You don't feel that. So you find you're in a docket where you're doing things alone, where you want to do things independently without involving your partner because to you they're not part of you. Yeah.
Yes.
You're just alone. You're alone. You just maybe sharing a house. Sometimes they don't even share a bed.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for honoring my invitation.
Thank you too.
The Love Drive on Sec Drive. I've been your host, Geoffrey Mugisazwa. This show is proudly sponsored by Ultimate Multimedia Consult, a consultancy firm that offers value-added news, knowledge products, and services. Remember to subscribe, click on that notification button, and share, like, for more of these episodes to come. Bye for now.
The Love Drive is brought to you by Sec Drive, powered by Yakadicto Network, a product of Ultimate Multimedia Consult.